with you in this video how to balance giving and receiving. I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to balance giving and receiving when creating what you want. I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to balance giving and receiving when creating what you actually want. Because the truth is that I do believe life is nothing more than a balance of give and take. Everything is a give and take. It's not something that I really want to express to you from a place of I know everything or that I figured it all out. It's more like I've just noticed this in my experience, and I want to share this with you because I sincerely believe that if you want to receive at a powerful level, really receive what you want, you have to be willing to also give just as much, just as much in whatever area you're talking about. Like, you can't be willing to receive something that, like, on some level you're not willing to give. Like, if you don't want to give, if you don't want to be a giving person in life, don't expect in life to receive powerful things, to receive at a similar level. Like, if you don't have the capacity to give, don't expect to receive. So let's talk about that in this video. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is just to understand that as you give, you receive. So really just remember this, that really giving is receiving. So if you're walking through your life and you're scared to give, just remember that it's not really the receiving that you need. There's no expectation that you want to have. And we're going to get to that more later in the video. But just remember that, like, as you give, you already are receiving. So, like, there's no reason for you to have an expectation because remember, you're already receiving. So this even goes back to just remembering who you're surrounding yourself with, because everything in life is a give and take. Even just who you surround yourself with, you will become like these people in your life. Whoever you decide to surround in your circle, in your field of consciousness, and you invite into your space, into your field, what happens is that you're going to become like these people, and they are going to become like you. You guys are going to exchange energy. You're going to give something, and they're going to give something, and then you're going to take something, and they're going to take something, and that's an honest exchange. So you're going to be both receiving things from each other and taking things from each other. That's really an honest exchange. Now, of course, if we get into a situation where one person is giving more than the other person, and one person is taking more than the other person, now it's an imbalance exchange. But even if this is the case, even if somebody gets into an imbalanced exchange, just remember that I do believe no matter what, you want to be that person that gives from a space of, that as you're giving, you're already receiving. That's all you need to give. All you need is the giving itself. You don't need the receiving, because you understand that the giving process is the receiving in of itself. That's the joy. The joy is in giving. The joy is in actually providing value, because if you don't feel joy in providing value, you're not truly giving. Like, on some level, you're actually taking. You can see that when somebody gives from a space of expectation, like too much expectation, like they need some specific result out of that situation, what you'll find is that that's not an authentic place to give, because there's this expectation that they need after they give, right? But when you can sense that somebody offers true value, they truly want to care about you, they truly are offering something powerful, and they're coming from a place of service, what you'll start to find is that now what's happening is that you're going to be in a powerful position to really actually see who's going to be able to give truthfully and who's going to be coming from a place of not actually giving from an authentic place, not actually giving from a place of authenticity and discipline and excellence and being the person that you decide you're going to be, and really aligning with that vision that you decide for yourself. Like, that's all going to come from the deep understanding and the realization that giving is receiving and receiving is giving. You don't need to have any expectation when you give, because the joy is in the giving, and you're going to receive so much back afterwards when you come from that space as well. If you want to actually receive tangible things after, if that's what you're really after, that's all going to come to you most likely, not that you're going to need it, not that you're going to be attached to it, when you give without expectation. When you give pure value, zero expectation, organically, you're always going to receive back. That's just what I've noticed in my life, is that if you come from true value, you don't expect anything back, and you truly come from your heart, and you just give, you have such a desire to give, it's like people just want to give back. Because think about that. Just think about what I just said there. If you give, people want to give back. You know what I mean? So it's like, and if you want to take, people don't want anything to do with that. And the second thing that I want to share with you in this video is just to understand that. So when you give, I believe that one of the most powerful things to do in terms of how to show up in our life, if we want to balance giving and receiving when creating what we want, is to give without expectation. One of the biggest keys I find is to walk through life and not need anything when you're actually giving. So if you want to give, if you have it in your heart to provide, to give in whatever form that means to you, you have to come from a space of not needing anything from that giving. Because I do believe that, if you're going to be giving so much to the point where you're expecting somebody to give back or to receive, what's happening is that really, once again, you're actually taking. Like, you're not really giving. That's not truly giving. I think that true giving is coming from a space of unconditional, just wanting to give your heart out to whatever that situation is. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes there's not agreements between two people where genuinely you give something and they give something back, and this happens through communication between two individuals. I'm not saying that that's not the case. But what I'm saying is that even if this kind of agreement happens, you want it to come from an underlying understanding that really we're just giving from a place of abundance, from a place of non-neediness, so that we can provide true value to the other person, where you're not providing value from a place of misery and suffering and not being aligned with who you want to be and not being connected to the person that you want to be in your life. Like, all of these things can go away if you start to understand that actually giving without expectation is the true joy. That's the true joy. If you want to find true peace, true joy, true happiness in your life, give for its own sake, to be in the state of consciousness of giving. Because the peace that comes from simply giving from a full cup is more joy than you'll ever need than any expectation that you would want from the outside world in order to fulfill you. See, you don't need any particular thing to happen in the outside world in order for you to feel fulfilled. That's a belief system. You can come from a space where you feel peace simply through taking action, simply through being disciplined with who you want to be. That's what drives you. That's what motivates you. See, there's two types of people. There's one person that gets validation and approval by receiving things from the outside and getting approval and praise. Now, that's one way to be confident, and I think that's good, to get confidence from getting achievements and getting results. But there's another person that has no need for any of this to feel fulfilled, and they feel fulfilled simply through the act of aligning with what they want, simply through giving. Because if you want to be very giving in life, relentlessly and fearlessly take action towards your goals and dreams, and do so in an unapologetic way where you know that you're allowed to create what you want. That's what giving can mean. Giving doesn't necessarily mean that you have, like, it can mean different things at different times and come in different forms. Giving really just means that you're in the frequency and aligned with who you want to be of taking action towards your goal. You're in that energy of being who it is that you want to be, and you're taking consistent actions towards it. Every single day, you're actually taking actions. You're doing it, and you're giving. That's a very giving energy when you're in a state of high calmness and high peace and flow state action consistently, where you're taking ridiculously high amounts of action and you're not even feeling like you're putting in lots of work to do it. Like, yes, you're putting in the work. Yes, you're putting in the effort, but it comes from a deeper place within you where you don't need to be forcing it, and you usually leave these tasks more energized than when you actually started. So if you want to walk through your life and feel more energized than when you started, start to learn what that means to you. What does it mean in your life to give without expectation? Maybe it's some sort of art form. Maybe you like public speaking like myself. You like to talk and just talk and give through talking. Maybe you have something else that you want to do in your life. But the point here is that what is it in your life that you like to give? And you need nothing, because you love giving in that area. You just love doing it. You love the commitment of doing it. You love the feeling of doing it in of itself for its own sake. You love committing to it because you love doing it. And then you expect nothing in return because you just love it. And then guess how much you're going to get in return from that space, because you love to give and you love to just see the results of just giving. Just see it. You don't even need the expectation. Just through giving, you feel happy. That's real power. That's real wisdom. And so if you get to this space of just giving without needing anything from the outside, I think that's what you really need to balance giving and receiving when creating what you want, because now you're giving and of course you're going to receive back. Now, the final thing that I want to share with you in this video is a really powerful concept that I think is really going to help you to receive more in your life today. And I'm not promising anything in this video or in any of my videos, because the truth is that nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed in life, definitely not from these videos, because remember that everything in life is ultimately uncertain. But I do believe that if we come from a space of leading with value, we're going to win. So the final thing that I want to share with you is to lead with value and you will always receive. That's what I believe. If you lead with giving without expectation, with true value, what is true value? It's your cup is so full, you have so much to give, you're so connected to who you are, you feel so connected to your truth that you just want to give. And you just want to express because you have so much to give. It's like you have so much to offer that you just want to give it all away. And you can't hold it all to yourself. And so what does this mean? That's true value. That means that you feel connected to who you really are, and what you want to do is start to share that with other people in whatever way that means to you. Maybe by embodying it, just by being who you are and feeling the energy of that, or by explicitly explaining to people how they can do it themselves in their own life. Whether you're an explicit teacher or an informal teacher through action and alignment and simply people noticing this, whatever that is to you, leading with value is going to be a part of that, because that is leading with value. You showing up in that way in your life is what it means to lead with value, because true value is, first of all, you becoming who you want to be and aligning with that fearlessly and boldly and relentlessly. That's value. That's true value, because remember, you can't be offering anything to anybody if you're not peaceful, if you're not honest about your desires, about your goals, what it is that you want to create in your life. And so just remember that if you truly lead with value and you just give from this space of needing nothing, you're going to receive, I believe, almost everything you've ever wanted. And even if you don't, you're not going to care, because you love what you do. And if you want to create something, the quickest and most efficient path to get there is to take action from a space of non-attachment and consistently do this for as long as possible. You know, it's really that simple. Like, nobody wants to hear the truth when it comes to how to create what you want. You lead with value every single day consistently for an absurd amount of time where you have to win. Like, there's almost no option for you not to win. Like, there comes a point where you look at somebody and you look at their success and it's like, did they deserve to win? Absolutely they did. Because if you look at their track record and what actions they took that led to that success, usually you'll find discipline, consistency, excellence, dedication over a long period of time, and extreme levels of just pure value giving until finally they received what they wanted, but they gave so much more before that. They gave so much more before that. People just, when they give without expectation, they always receive back. So just remember, like, if you want to receive, if you want to always promise that you're going to be receiving things in your life, whatever that's money, whether that's something that you want in whatever kind of relationships you want to do, what do you want to receive? I don't really want to know what it is specifically in this video. And if you want to leave it in the comments, go ahead. But the point is here that if you want to receive in any regard, if you just give massive value and you give from a space of truly coming from your heart and lead with that, lead with just pure value giving, you're always going to be taken care of. In life, I believe, I'm not promising that. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. What I'm saying is that it's very likely to happen, that life will have a way to take care of you when your whole vision is to take care of other people. If you're just giving and giving and giving and giving, life will have a way to give back to you. It's just always the case. Because life wants to support people that give, almost, is what it seems like. It's like if you have something of true value to offer the world, life almost wants to support that to happen. Life almost wants to see you succeed and see you create what you want. And the best way to receive is to truly give with value. So where in your life can you offer more value and just give? Just give. Lead with, where in your life can you give so much value and lead with so much value that you know for a fact, like, you're going to receive something back? And you don't need it. But I'm talking about if you want security in your life, like if we're talking about actual security, if you want to guarantee almost, or give the highest probability that you're going to be in a state of consistently receiving abundance in your life, you want to become a person that produces, that actually produces. If you want to receive, Stop just, consuming. You need to produce. If you want to be a really powerful consumer and, really consume things in a powerful way, now it sounds weird to say it like that, you need to know how to produce. Give output. If you want to receive input, you need to give output. Like, this is the give and take, right? This is what I'm talking about, is that life is a give and take. And if you want to be able to receive, you have to be willing to give. If you're not willing to give, don't expect to be able to receive at that same capacity that you want to receive. Whatever capacity you have to give, expect to receive that back as well. In any context, in your relationship specifically, if you're going to give a certain level of energy, expect to get it right back. Expect that life is going to reflect to you what you give it. If you give life 50%, life is going to give you 50% back. If you give life 100%, life is going to give you 100% back. If you lead with value and give from your heart and have so much to offer, well, guess what happens is that you're going to be surrounded with people that do the same thing for you, and you're both going to be sharing from a place of having your cup completely full, and now you're both winning together. You're both able to win. You're both able to create what it is that you want and create a win-win situation where you both can actually be aligned with what it is that you actually want to create in your